What is up, my Little Deinos? Vepsis, CEO coach of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the final week of the regular season here in the Champions of Galar tournament. And we are going up against Sallymumble and his team being the Austin Tauros. He's someone that I never got to play before, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually haven't seen him playing before he was taking part of this league in itself. So it's pretty cool to go up against someone that you are not familiar with. And he is still in a playoff race. He needs to win, I believe, what I understood correctly from the Discord server when people were talking about the playoff contention as of currently. He needs to win 3-0 or more versus me in this game to have a chance to make it to the playoffs. For me, I don't really have anything in stake here, but I'm gonna be coming into this game as if intentions trying to win, and that's only to be fair to the other opponents, including who I'm playing right now, who are still in the playoff contention. But for me, it's not really too much in stake anymore. I know I cannot be number one seed anymore as I'm playing this, so because of that, there's not really even for me to think about a bragging right to be number one anymore. So I'm gonna take it as it comes this game, try to have fun with it, and not really too much stress about the outcome, because I don't think I can even try to predict who I play in round 1, whether I win or lose. So it's kind of like no reason for me to try to even though I don't think I would even bother trying. I know some people may try to fish for their ideal round 1 opponent and try to manipulate their last game, but for me, I don't even see really a desire or need for it, and frankly I don't think it's even possible for me at this sake. But let's go through the team very briefly so my opponent doesn't have to wait too long. His roster you can see up on my face cam, and you can jump into battle right about now on this timestamp that you can see in front of this Aura. But speaking of this Aura, we are running a special set first time this season with Thunderbolt, Crash Knock, Toxic Protect with leftovers on it, as you saw earlier. This is kind of like their try to stall break his team. He has things like Ladias that I don't touch and a jungle healing Sarud. But I think if Sarud has to come, it probably will be 4 attacks, and it definitely needs to have Rock Slide to hit my Togekiss, for example. So there's a chance it doesn't have room for it. And other than that, it's just that be nice to have Crash Knot to hit his ground types way harder than I would be able to do on the physical side of things. Then the next member of our team is gonna be similar set as this Aura, but this is Sub Toxic Protect Seismitoad. This was a set that I've been playing around with throughout this season that maybe I could have bought it at some point before. Not mentioning who it would have been versus off the chance I may play them in playoffs. I don't know if they are still in a playoff contention, but regardless, this bit I said that I've been thought about before, but this is the actual first matchup that I end up doing it here in the final week of the regular season. I'm doing this ideally to lure in Lantern or Mudstill, so I can sub on them, and both of them should be 4-star. Lantern cannot really do much to me other than Toxic in myself, but I have decent amount of speed investment on this thing, and of course we are running leftovers as a form of passive recovery alongside with getting protects off here and there, and try to stop break him down a little bit in that sense. Then we are running 3 attacks. I almost made this 4 attacks, but I gave it a roost because this is potentially a Sarut switching, but we are relatively offensive Togekiss as well that we are running, I believe, Super Luck as ability, because we are not running Air Slash because he has decent amount of flying resist, and I like the Fairy Fire Crash coverage versus him. The only thing that I don't hit super hard would be like a Wheezing with this, but I'm okay with that, and obviously something like Lantern will take decent amount of hits, but I do have ways to kind of play around it because I have things like Seismitoad on my team, and ideally I get it on a timer and I will be one down from there. Then we are running a special defensive with decent amount of speed Shiratsi to outpace the Porygon Z, and we are running Iron Head and Body Slam Wish Protect with leftovers on it. I made this Body Slam so I have a move to actually punish a Ladias, because that's my this is my premier switching to it. But it would be nice otherwise get a potential Paras or something like a Scizor that might swap into me. Maybe a Mudstill. If it's not toxic, maybe it's okay to get it paralyzed, because then it might not be able to have a chance to hit anything on my team. But mainly it's there to hit the Ladias, which this thing is primarily to deal with. I could have run Toxic like I ran versus the team that I deal with Latios, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but I preferred having Body Slam as an actual attacking move this time around, because there might be a scenario that he swaps into Scizor and then I don't get anything out of the turn if it's going to be he's swapping on my Toxic. Then we are running a Choice Scarf Nidoking this time around, a physical variant as well, with dual stab of Poison Jab, Earthquake, Superpower, and Megahorn. Megahorn is pretty cool because it hits both Latias and Sarud at the same time. Superpower does a crap load to things like Porygon C and Mamoswine. And this is a very good revenge killer to Tapu Koko if necessary, which could come in necessary if it's a setup variant. I don't actually deal with Tapu Koko otherwise too well with my team other than this Nidoking, so it's an important member of my team in itself, and I do need to keep it in the back just for that Koko in itself. And then our final member of the team, if I remember right, this is the 6th member, will be my Talonflame with heavy duty boots and flame body. This is there to be like a pivot to Scizor, potentially punish it if it doesn't have protective pads with a flame body, as it's gonna be U-turning or anything else. Other than that, it's a very solid, speedy revenge killer for things like Latias, for example, so I don't rely on purely on Nidoking to revenge kill that thing with either Brave Bird or U-turn itself. It's a good thing also to utilize the Seismitoad set paired with this Talonflame, because it kind of losing the things that Seismitoad would love to come in on, like the Lantern and Mudsdale, so it kind of pairs well in that sense for my team, and I figured it would be nice to bring something also fast being my Talonflame for this map swap. So that's gonna be the team, and let's go and see how this is gonna be turning out. Alright, here we are with the battle with Sallymumble. Let's see what he's gonna be bringing. It's a tough matchup for sure for my end, so it's gonna be... I'm expecting it to be a tough fight, and I'm not sure how confident I should be feeling about win this or not, but it's more important for my opponent than some of the other people that are in the playoff race, so I'm just gonna try my best, try to have fun with this right before the playoffs and see how this is gonna be going. So let's see what he's gonna be bringing. I definitely have to note this down and think about my lead afterwards, that he brings the Latias. Immediately I don't notice the either of the grass types, which is interesting to notice. So he didn't bring the Sarud or the Sceptile with the Electric Seed. He brought the Scizor, which I kind of expected for my Kyurem. He brought the Porygon C and Lantern. Okay, so Togekiss is not a sensor in this battle, but it can do pretty good work of weakening down things like Mamoswine with a Grass Knot if I happen to outpace it, which if it's solely I won't be, but if it's adamant I can, barring a Choice Scarf variant or any kind of that shenanigans. But I could lead with my Seismitoad because it deals well with a Mamoswine lead. I can scout Koko's Grass Knot by protecting. Latias I get Toxic, and Porygon C I probably would have to Toxic turn 1. Yeah, I think I like my Seismitoad as a lead. Togekiss, other things that he can do is that he can Flamethrower the Scizor, but would have to worry about Bullet Punching. He can help dealing with the Latias if Jirachi is worn down, so there's some value in Togekiss for sure. But ideally I get some good damage with it and weaken down the bigger threats with it. But let's see how this is gonna be going. I'm gonna be leading with the Seismitoad, mainly because it kinda looked pretty safe versus majority of the things. It's not intentional to getting Stealth Rocks up, cause... Okay, he leads with the Mamoswine, so turn 1 I have to Scald this. Hopefully it's not Freeze Dry and like a Jolly Nature, for example, but I'm gonna be clicking Scald turn 1. I don't really have more to... I don't have pivots on this, so I didn't bring my Scrafty to deal with this, cause it could be Oblivious to block the Intimidate. So I just have to damage this thing turn 1 if I just can. There's a chance it might not even be Freeze Strike, because this is his only rocker. And he could also have Superpower to hit this Scrafty, because I've shown in the past that I have used Scrafty before to deal with Mamoswine. We do good damage on it, as he reveals to have Freeze Strike. Do I happen to live this? I have decent amount of SPDF investment. I do happen to live it, that's good. That's good. Now I need to see that how much damage that did. Is that like Freeze Dry? I am at 56 health. So that looks about right. How much Ice Shot is doing? It does between 63 to 75. I will not be able to live an Ice Shot with this. But I think after protect I might be able to, so I might just click protect. Either way to gain health, cause this is still a potential pivot. Actually, I was calling a... Okay, he does withdraw. Sydney, which is the lantern. Okay, this is perfect scenario. Oh, I actually wanted you to come in on this. Okay. I was calling that wrong. I had for... well, I said that the ice shot could have killed me, but that was still having choice bandit on it. I don't need to swap in. We're gonna be clicking substitute on this. I doubt it's gonna be faster than my Seismodon unless it's Scarf. And we do get about sub. As he reveals to have Dancing Gleam, I don't think that breaks my sub, right? Yeah, that doesn't break my sub. Okay. This could be Assault Vest because of that. So what I could do is that I click Protect. Gain a little bit of HP back so I can gain a new sub on this. Falco comes in. Which is still Arias, okay. I'm gonna click Toxic on this. Okay. Now we're gonna click Toxic on this Larias and ideally just land it and then I can deal with it my Jirachi. Okay, it just goes straight for the Psyshock, wants to break this up. Which is fine by me. But that Lantern seems to me to be a Assault Vest variant, and we do land the Toxic, very good. Very good. He knows my full set now, but that's perfectly fine with me. Mamoswine I should rank down, that it's probably like 40% of health now after that skull damage. Lantern revealed Dancing Gleam. This is a turn that I can pretty freely click Protect, but I could also swap into my Jirachi, cause that could deal with also a swapping into my... Like he could click Protect and try to capitalize on it. I'm going to like Porygon C to provide offensive pressure. The other option is that he clicks Calm Mind if he has setup on it. So I keep this Ice Method, I don't plan to click Protect this turn. We should be okay. As he does click Psyshock again, so we eat this just fine. Okay. Now I do have the option to click Body Slam to punish the Scizor swap in. Which I think I will do. I'll click Body Slam. It should do decent damage to the, well, it's not gonna do a lot to Lantern, but okay damage. And I would prefer to get some damage off on it at this point. The Lantern definitely had the Dancing Gleam, cause he had to have some sort of move to hit the... He had to have some sort of move to hit the QM with it. So he was relatively prepared for that. Now I can go for a Wish after this. Because I'm beating you 1v1 like this. And I want to keep this thing healthy just in case for the Porygon C. And this Larias is getting worn down by the minute. So I click Wish. Larias is right now 45% plus Toxic. As he does swap out. Siba. Which is the Scizor. I expect this to be Assault Vest or Special Defensive in some matter. If his Sword dances up, I don't think it threatens me all too much. I guess Talonflame would take way too much damage by that. So I guess I'm okay still going to my Talonflame. You don't have any other rocker other than the Mamoswine, and seeing that you have 3-star makes me think you don't have a rocker then in general. Because it would be off for you to have more slots for it. He does go for the U-turn. Do we see the Flame Body popping up? We don't. That doesn't still tell... I cannot actually tell, I think, with my build that will it be protective patch or not. But out of curiosity, I should check that damage. From versus my Talonflame once he decides to go into something, which is probably gonna be Coco at this point. So if it's specially defensive, he would have done between 16 to 19 damage. Not percentage wise, but like HP wise. We see Sydney the Lantern. And that was 17 damage. That is specially defensive Scissor, as expected. I don't see you being a Choice Scarf. So I'll just U-turn. We get a little bit of damage on this thing. And that did decent amount of damage. I can pretty much go into my Seismitoad, cause realistically I don't need it for anything else than just swapping into this. We get to see, I guess, now that does he have Toxic or not, and therefore not being Assault Vest. He clicks Volt Switch. Okay. Which I'm fine with. I don't think I wanna click a sub, cause this thing is good to be health. Okay, he is Leftovers. Okay. I guess I can still click sub, to be fair. There's nothing that really wants to coming on that. I could also click Toxic on a swap in. I don't see him clicking Toxic because he saw me having Substitute already. So I kinda wanna click Toxic here. If he goes into Latias, that's whatever. If he clicks Toxic here, that's a good play by him, but I just didn't see him clicking that. Yeah, he just clicks Dazzling Gleam. Which is fine by me. I gain a little bit of health on this. I guess we now get to see if he has Heal Bell on this or not. But him not being able to hit me too hard with that Dazzling Gleam means that if he has Heal Bell, I don't see him having Toxic anymore. So I'll just click Protect just to gain the health. This Lantern is way too healthy for me. Let this Seismitoad get too out of hand with its health. It goes into Jack, which is the Porygon C. Okay. This is, I guess, where I would have to worry about my Jirachi doesn't get too shotted by the Porygon C Shadow Ball. If it specs, I don't worry about it as much, because then I can outpace it. I am at 160 HP right now. There's a chance he can 2-hit KO me if it's Timid Scout, but I gain Leftovers afterwards. The scary part would be that if he tries to set up. I think I'll use my Jirachi just to see the damage output still. He should see this coming and click Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse, whichever works. Agility. Okay. That's slightly scarier if it's Lumberry. But I'll go for the Body Slam. It is Dual Dance. Hopefully it's not Lumberry. Don't be Lumberry, because that's the worst case scenario. We don't even get the Body Slam para. If he's at +2, and I am at 184. He can kill me with a Shadow Ball. But if he Nasty Plots again, I'm in very bad shape. Yeah, this could be the thing that I actually lose to straight out. Good set by him. Yeah, he Nasty Plots again. Hopefully we get the para now and he's not the Lumberry. If this is not the Lumberry, then there's not a whole much I can do about it. We still didn't get the... Okay, we went for it 2 times and we didn't get it. That is funny. Okay, so now that's its +4, I cannot outpace it and kill it. And this is where I would like to have actually the Gale Wings, but we just have to go for this again. We probably get 6 up by this thing. to be frank. Now, if this is a Lumberry, then my fishings for paras do not matter. Or didn't matter, frankly. Now that you're +4, do I have any chance of living with any of my members? If you're modest... If you're modest by any chance and +2... No, my Nidoking doesn't outpace this either. I guess I have to go into my Talonflame and hope. There's no way he's swapping out anymore. There's no way he is. So we might get 6 out here, which is really unfortunate way to end off our regular season, but this is similar to last week that my opponents were really desperate for their wins. And frankly, I didn't need this win. But his set was very good for this matchup. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything for this. If I click Toxic with the Seismitoad, I guess that would have been able to get rid of that. Lumberry, but even after that I would have had to try to get the Body Slam para, and I frankly wasn't able to get that one off. I have the Thunderbolt off the chance he mix clicks, I guess. But I'm pretty sure this is gonna sweep me. Yep. Okay. It's been a while that I've been 6-0 before, so it doesn't really feel great, honestly, but... Thankfully, I guess this is coming before the playoffs, and hopefully... Well, I know when I go to the playoffs that I will obviously put a lot more emphasis on these games. The last game that I really put emphasis was versus the... Goldoa Dragon, I think. The game after that I brought up B-Team versus the B-Team I brought versus the Galar Knight. That ended up working out pretty well considering what he brought. Last week versus Aquarius didn't obviously go too well, and this is going even worse. He's a superpower. I don't think we outpace because he's at +2. In a hindsight, I should have thought about this dual dance set that maybe I should have played more aggressively and swap into something else that deals with it immediately or threatens it enough. That's obviously in a hindsight that I can say now that it wouldn't have been that. But at the same time, I had my Chirotzi. If it wasn't the Lumberry, I would have been able to paralyze it down, and then he would have had a harder time to get all the setups going. But make sure to check out Sallymumble. This puts him in a position that he might be actually clinch his playoff spot. We'll see if we play in round 1. I don't actually know if this means that we end up doing that or not, but either way, if we end up doing that, then I know for a fact that I need to prepare for Porygon C way harder than I did this week, besides having a special defensive Chirotzi. But that's something for me to use in playoff game if we end up playing round 1 or afterwards, depending on playoff games how they go, and assuming that my opponent makes that. But great game to Sallymumble, make sure to check him out. We'll see if that's gonna be enough for him to make to the playoffs. We are gonna be in playoffs regardless. I secured that 3 weeks ago. So I'm now just kind of waiting for everything to settle down and see who I get to play. So back then I expect myself to have a better showing than I have had past 2 weeks, but I'll be way more invested to the matchups and building my teams and scouting my opponent, because I'm gonna be frank, I didn't end up watching Sallymumble as closely as I usually do when I go up against somebody on that week. So this kind of, I guess, shows to myself how much I have to be invested on each week to be able to win those matches. But either way, I digress and move on to the round 1 playoffs, so stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna be see you guys later.